Good morning, YouTube. Today is Friday, June 21st. The boys are celebrating summer by sitting outside, it looks like.
Sorry, I had to get that Hawk 2 out.
Wow, man, we might have to clip that one. Let Tommy go famous. Sticking with the viral clips.
Famous Pennsylvania girl.
That is AM chatter right there. Sticking with pop culture. Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Good morning, host.
Did not expect to start this morning with that, but that was pretty funny.
Your face was priceless.
I was like, what is Tom doing?
Sorry, guys.
I mean, it's funny because it really looks like you're behind some sort of fake screen there. Beautiful backyard today, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you. Those are not my trees, but they're in my backyard.
They're God's trees.
They're not Anthony's neighbor's trees. They're no one's trees. They're just hanging out.
Well, first day of summer. Seems like we still got that heat wave going on, but everything's going well over here. What's going on with you boys this week?
Go ahead, Anth.
Not much, man. Not much. Just yeah.
Did you take the jet skis out this week? It's a perfect week for it.
I would love to. Not down the river, unless you go to Fox Chapel or the yacht club or Youghiogheny, something.
Stay south of the dam. South of the dams, you'll be fine.
Yeah, anywhere that you're not going to suck up a diaper in your jet ski jet, anywhere is good. So yeah. Other than that, that's about it.
Also, Anth, if you want to give a quick plug, if it's summertime, air conditioners go out, costs go up. One of those items a lot of buyers forget about when they get that home is that home inspection. That could come in play because with the home inspection, you might be able to negotiate a home warranty. And with a home warranty, you might be able to save some money if you have an AC that goes on the fritz, right, Anth?
Yeah. So I'm getting one replaced this morning. I got a home warranty on the house whenever I got it. They're covering a portion of it, so a portion of it's better than zero. So yeah, that's going in. That's going this morning.
Yeah. So if you're ever going with that purchase, make sure you ask about that home warranty. Usually it's only good for the first year, but then you can renew it at your leisure, and it's a good coverage to have in case any of those mechanicals go sideways on you.
No, that is a good plug. I was just with Naomi, one of our reps with our company here this week at a meeting, and she mentioned some great things for the seller too with getting the home warranty. So I think it's definitely worth a look. Reach out to her and talk about it.
Yes, that's our home warranty plug for the day. Now we're going to get into the financing talk. I know all of us have gotten pretty used to looking at Pennsylvania sales contracts, even though we're not a real estate agent ourselves. But we're going to get into, holy cow, page 4 of the sales contract. The mortgage financing box on page 4. We see this come in all kinds of crazy ways, guys. So I wanted to pull up an example. I have one that's an FHA loan, but we can go over conventional as well. And I mean, I get contracts that this box is left blank. I get contracts that it's not filled out correctly. And from my knowledge, again, not a lawyer, not a real estate agent, if something isn't correct on the contract, it's a good way to get out of the contract. So if something isn't correct, this could come down to, I'm going to terminate, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that because the contract wasn't correct. So we're always here to help if you have problems with filling out your page 4.
Sorry, the jet airliner's coming over my head right now.
We all know that Tom's in the landing pattern. We all know that it's important to get this filled out. If you have any questions, especially on the loan to value is very easy, but again, we'll go over that in a second. But please, please fill the financing box out on page 4 correctly, because again, we see it wrong so often.
I was actually told once that was for me to fill out. That's the lender's box.
That is not for us to fill out. We can help you fill it in, but real estate agents, this is for you. So the first one, obviously, is the loan amount. You need to make sure you and the buyer are on the right page of what their down payment is. Don't just guess. I've seen this be completely wrong because the agent thinks they're putting too much money down, or vice versa. They're putting 20% down and the agent only has 5% in here. So again, communication is very important. Talk with us, talk with the buyer, make sure we have the loan amount correct. Secondly is the term. And in a lot of files, we're going to have 30-year terms, but don't just preset that however you want, because I have buyers in process now, 10-year, 15-year terms. There are buyers that want that lower term, so you want to make sure that term is correct. Secondly, or thirdly, I guess, would be the type of mortgage. This is something that we have to confirm. If they're going FHA and it says conventional on here, that's a problem for us. Or if it says conventional, they're going FHA. Make sure, again, check with us as the loan officer, what type of financing is happening on this transaction.
And we should know that too, because we should have them pre-approved a few days before. You should know exactly what's going on. Hopefully, this isn't the first time you're talking to them or us about it. So, you guys should have an inkling on what type of mortgage it is. But if you do have questions about that, I mean, we're more than happy to help. So, you got to speak up, and then we'll speak right back to you about what's going on.
Next item. I see this is probably the part I see wrong the most. And this is loan to value. So for conventional loans, the loan to value ratio is not to exceed. Guys, loan to value is very, very easy to calculate. Here's what you do. Here's the trick. You start at 100%. You subtract whatever the buyer's down payment is. So let's say they're putting 5% down. Anthony, what is 100 minus 5? You're muted. Old man is muted.
Mr. Mute.
We got 95%, fellas. We got 95%.
That is
right.
LTV of 95%. That's it. They're putting 5% down, 100 minus 5, 95% loan to value. All right, Tom, we're going to give you another tough one. Buyers are putting 20% down. So what is 100 minus 20?
We're going to go with an 80 LTV.
That is an 80% LTV. That's it. It's that easy. For this specific loan that we're showing here, it's an FHA loan. 3.5% down, 100 minus 3.5 is 96.5. That's it. That's as easy as it gets. So if you've ever had questions with this, if you thought it was some sort of crazy math calculation that we're doing for you, it's not. It's that easy to calculate the loan to value. So make sure we have that correct, because again, to my knowledge, if the down payment changes what's in there, that could affect financing. It could affect the contract. Mortgage lender, a lot of times this is blank. A lot of times it says TBD. If I'm a buyer, if I'm a seller, I want this filled out correctly so I know who the lender is going to be on the transaction. If the lender then changes, I believe an addendum should have to get changed. Something is changed on the contract if the lender changes. This is just me saying this. I have no idea what the real estate rules are, but it makes sense. If there's a change of the contract, you have to make it an official change. But
I would say you're correct, right? I mean, I don't see why not, or why they wouldn't need a change. That's a big change of what's happening within the deal. Is 1/3 of the puzzle, we could say, is the financing, and that's completely changing. A whole new lender is coming into play. So I do think that would have to drum up a addendum.
I mean, it is possible that the seller and the listing agent accepted the offer because of the lender that was in the contract. So if that changes, I'm with you, That should be alerted to everyone that change happened in the contract. And then the bottom part with the interest rate. Here's what I tell my buyers and the agents working with me. For you guys, you want this to be as small of a difference as possible. A small of a from the interest rate to the maximum is possible. That gives you an out if interest rates spike up. So let's say the interest rate was 7%, and then buyer agrees to accept interest rate committed by the mortgage lender not to exceed. You want that as closest to their rate as possible. The higher that is, or the biggest difference that is, you're giving the buyer less of a chance to potentially step away from the contract if interest rates have gone up or if they haven't locked their interest rate in. And that's very important. Sometimes I see agents with a very wide range. And again, I'm sure that's better for the listing agent. I'm sure that's the seller feel better, but that's not, from my knowledge, protecting the buyer as much. For the buyer, to protect the buyer, you want the maximum rate to be as close to their current rate as possible. I mean, that makes sense to me, right?
100%. Following.
Yeah, so that's a big one. And again, if this is left blank, then your buyer has no protection.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think everything needs to be filled into the max, especially because if an appraisal comes in and maybe it comes in undervalued or something, that's really where you're going to see this box start to be utilized. And some people think that you don't need to have a appraisal contingency because of this. And I disagree, but it could go into play if it's filled out perfectly and things change. So it is very important that you fill out this box entirely and perfectly.
Yes. And that loan to value comes into play, like Tom was just saying, if it underappraises, because that's telling you what the structure of your financing is. Now, can a buyer change the structure if they want? Yes, but they don't have to if they don't want to. And this where in the contract protects them. So we want everyone to fill it out correctly. We are here to help everyone if they have any questions. I just see time after time, guys, that box is not filled in correctly on page 4.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's filled in sometimes with wonky stuff. So just make sure you're filling in correctly. If you have trouble, just hit us up. We're more than happy to tell you what to put in those boxes. And I know some people on FHA loans, they want to have the exact loan amount with the upfront mortgage insurance. Just call us. We'll help you. We'll get the fee sheet over and you'll know exactly what to write in there.
Well said. Mr. LaPera, anything to send us on the road today?
Yeah, I mean, that's all valid info. I mean, ultimately, make sure you're getting an estimate from the lender that is being used because, like Tom said, all the information is already on there. You just have to copy it so you can fill it in correctly. So,
and like Tom said, we are here to help. We want to work as a team to get this transaction completed as smooth as possible.
100% here to help. And we'll show them how to do the second box for the second mortgage next time.
All right, go get that SPF 70 on and stay dry today, boys.
Sweating.
see you guys
Later.